Blinded is about life and love and how it's not easy and how hard it can be to see the bigger picture. And I was that guy. I wasn't seeing the bigger picture. I lived years and years kind of stuck in my own world, and I wrote music the same way. I wrote it for myself. I wasn't writing music for anyone else's pleasure or joy. And I really turned the page when my wife came along. Even though after years of my family being supportive and loving to me, it took my wife's love to really turn me around and me starting to write and live and love outwardly and stop being so selfish and seeing the bigger picture. Because life isn't about me. And when I started to realize that, I really started to live for the first time and love for real. We started recording Blinded in the toughest time of my life. We had just lost my father to brain cancer, and it was the worst year ever. And the same day we lost my father, I found out I was going to be a father for the first time. So you can imagine the range of emotions that I was going through. And Blinded was my escape. It was my catapult to get better, to feel better, to feel purpose and meaning. And it gave me drive and motivation, and not only knowing I was going to be a father, but knowing that time is a blessing, and to cherish every second you have and to do with it what you love the most. And what I loved the most was music. And I had written that song. It was inspired by my father long before we knew he was sick, and I wanted to honor him and make him proud, and I'm sure he is, and I hope my family's proud too with it, and hopefully one day when my daughter hears it, she'll be proud as well. The influence behind Blinded is obviously gospel, but that goes back to my childhood and my roots. My father was a priest, and he always wanted a Southern gospel choir in his church, and Blinded was inspired by that. And I grew up listening to Elvis Presley gospel albums, and we listened to a lot of Motown too, like from the Solid Gold collection, those tapes that you would get at Shell. That stuff really ignited the passion of music in me, the soul music, the R&B, the gospel. And I kind of went away from it and went through rock and roll and went through all those phases and stuff. But I come back to it finally, and it feels good to come back to my roots where it all began. And I feel like I'm at that stage in my life where I belong there.
Save me, save me.